Today's topic, board gamer trader mechanics. Well, not trader, T-R-A-D-E-R, trader, like I'm trading. That's today's topic is trading games. Today's topic. Welcome to TableScraps, short discussions about board, card, and tabletop gaming, submitted by the viewing audience and discussed with the viewing audience. Hey there everybody, I'm Chaz Marler from Pair of Dice Paradise, welcoming you back to another episode of TableScraps, where we discuss a topic about board, card, and tabletop gaming. It's also going to be a topic about gaming that was submitted by a viewer, specifically Daniel Bemis, who asks the following question. He wants to know about trading in the board game community. Is board game trading good for the economy of the board game hobby? Will it encourage people to buy new kinds of games that they would normally not buy but would trade for? Is trading your games taking away from revenue from your favorite publisher or designer? Are the prices of some games so high that trading is the only option to obtain a copy of a game? And finally, does your local game store give you credit for trade-in games? Let me start with the easy one, your last one. Does your local game store give you credit for trade-in games? Several times a year, my local game store does a gamer garage sale where they will open up like this whole back room and they'll have people bring in and sell on consignment a bunch of games for store credit. So you'll have, it's not just people bringing in games, ones or twosies every now and then. You'll have this whole back room filled with piles of games that people are selling. And they encourage people to come in, and take part in this big customer-driven garage sale that goes on. And, and they're doing it for store credit. I haven't seen any other local game store do that. But again, I haven't gone out of my way to find out. So what I'm wondering is, does your local game store, O viewer, not only allow people to trade in games for store credit, but do they actually host community events in order to specifically do so? I would be very curious to find out if more and more game shops are doing that type of thing. But let's get back to the crux, the core, the nugget of this conversation, which is about trading games from one consumer to another and whether or not that is destructive to the industry. All right, so I'm going to really try to talk about this briefly without getting on a soapbox. And so if you start to hear inspirational music and like see a bald eagle fly by or something, I've gone too far off the deep end. I believe the short answer of no. I don't think that trading games from one consumer to another is detrimental to the hobby. In fact, I think that it can be very helpful to the hobby because it can, like you mentioned in your question, it can be a way for people to be introduced to new games that they never would have been introduced to before. Think about it. You're talking about trading games from one person to another. Hey, I got Catan. Oh, you got Monopoly. Let's trade. Now I own Monopoly and you own Catan. Haha. Did I get the better end of this deal? Why did I choose Monopoly? It doesn't matter. Let's just take the example a little bit further. When you have people over for game night and you are playing a game with 5 other people, you're sharing that game. In a way, you're trading part of that game to them. It's your copy, and that way you're sharing with them. You're sharing it with them at that level. I don't know if that's actually a good example or absurd, but what I do know is that our friends in the chat will straighten me out. Steven's going to start us off here by saying, I did a lot of trading when I was a new collector. I got newbie games and later traded those out for heavier games in the BGG math trades. Most players keep their games in excellent condition, so, it was awesome. Lots of times when I'm trading, it's actually to introduce someone to the hobby. And it is the gateway games, the introductory games that that we'll be giving them. Is that the norm, though? I am not sure. Only way to find out is to continue on to the next comment here from Richard, who says, I feel like I don't see any board game trading in my community too much. Only math trades at local conventions. And, it might be a good idea to actually back up here a little bit, and ask how common is trading? Is trading something that we are discussing something that happens, 0.0001% of the time? Or is it more common than we think? See, I give away more games than I trade, but I'm in a weird position where I have a problem and I absorb as many games into my collection as I possibly can. And then when I run out of shelf space, I vomit them back out at others. I think that I'm more the exception than the rule. So that's why I want to know how common it is from others. So if you know, let me know in the comments. In the meantime, we'll continue on to the next statement from Accent Troll, who says, I haven't traded games yet, though I did propose a trade with Chaz, but I have sold games through Facebook to generate cash to buy new games. Oh, that's an interesting part of this. Selling versus trading. Now, as per Daniel's original question, it would seem that selling games on the secondary market is still kind of in line with what the spirit of his original question. You know, is selling games from one consumer to another detrimental to the hobby as well? You know, again, I've hinted at this before, but you know, I'm a big believer that once you buy something, it's your thing to do with what you want. And so if I want to, resell this game on eBay or something, or give it away, or share it with others, or trade it with others, it's my thing that I got. People can take that to the extremes, of course, and abuse it, but the core idea, that's the core idea I'm trying to get across. So I don't, and to that extent, I don't think that reselling on the secondary market, is detrimental to the hobby any more than trading to people would be. Let's continue on with another comment here from Omar, who says, the industry now is a weird mix of overpriced Kickstarter and realistic retail prices. So which part can really be hurt? If anything, trading allows more people to be introduced to mechanics and themes that they otherwise wouldn't have known of. Potentially buy more from a particular designer and company, so everyone wins. It mentions how overpriced Kickstarters and realistic retail prices. Well, community, what is a realistic price and what is overpriced? I mean, there's a saying that every product is worth what someone will pay for it. So if there's a Kickstarter where a copy of the game is going for $150 a pop, which is not that uncommon at the moment, is that overpriced? Or is it you're getting the value out of that price? Is there something that we actually can say a board game should be X price? That's a reasonable price. Or is it totally subjective? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. But in the meantime, let's continue on to Mav Weirdo, who says, my friendly local game store sells secondhand games and gives store credit if you bring in ones that they want. My girlfriend has gotten quite good at finding games at yard sales for under $5 and trading them for more than $10 in store credit. Oh, that's, wow, if you can actually pull that off, that and actually be lucky enough to do that. That's cool. I have a friend who does that, who goes garage sailing, not with board games, but goes garage sailing, finds treasures and sells them on eBay. And it's almost one of their little side businesses, a little side business that they do just because they know what to look for. And so if you, Mav Weirdo, if your girlfriend can pull that off, that's awesome. Trevin continues the discussion by saying, I re-gift my old games away at Christmas. I've usually played them with my family, so I know who likes what. I can give them something I know that they like. So many times it seems that, at least I get into the mindset of someone wouldn't want something used for Christmas. But getting past that stigma, that could be an excellent way to help share some games with some people. And like you said, give them something you know that they'd really like. I am going to put that in my little memory area. I'm going to try and remember to be more like Trevin in the future. Accent Troll mentions, if trading wasn't possible, then there are some great games that I, or anyone else, would never be able to get my hands on, like say Filthy Rich or original Robo Rally expansions. I'm glad that someone mentioned about not necessarily prices being so too high, leading to trading being the only way to get a game, but just obscurity. Games are notorious for going out of print, and often trading is the only way that you're going to be able to get those hard to find games. Mur joins us to say, I use the various and sundry generosity lists on Board Game Geek to deal with my games that I need to get rid of, giving them new homes where they will get played. Hi, Chaz. Hi, Mer. That's, again, yeah, that's a great way, I think. That's one thing that I've really seen about the board game community. There seems to be a large spirit of generosity. Maybe it's just something, a holdover from introducing people to new games and just sharing that experience that makes you want to share the physical product as well. But it just, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I don't think it is. I think there is something inherent about this hobby that lends itself to not only with sharing games, but also like charity events like Extra Life and other things. And I hope it's something that it's not just me. I hope it's something that actually does exist out there. And if you do have an opportunity to be an awesome person and do something for charity, well, go be that awesome person and do it. Okay, maybe that's the point where we need the sappy music of the eagle flying by. Slivers mentions, do you think Kickstarter or pledge managers should have the option to gift a campaign similar to how Steam allows you to gift others games? As far as Kickstarter or the crowdfunding system is concerned, you're making a purchase. That's really what they're concerned with, is obtaining, processing, and fulfilling these purchases. So I think a gift option actually would lend itself pretty well to that type of thing. The only part of it that might be a downer is some of the logistics and shipping and tracking, and so much time goes by that it just may be at a level of difficulty. But yeah, I think that absolutely could be something that could be incorporated into those successfully. And we're going to wrap up with a response by Mur to Slivers. So I'm actually going to butt into their conversation here. Mur mentions to Slivers, I've given away pledges. You just change the address the game needs to be shipped to. It's pretty much that simple. And, maybe that's why such a system doesn't exist ingrained into the crowdfunding systems, because it might just be that simple to do. And speaking of things that are simple to do, it will be simple for you to continue this conversation in the comments below, because unfortunately, we've run out of time for today's discussion. But I want to thank everybody in the live chat who has joined me today and given me their questions, their ideas, their thoughts. It's been a great discussion. And for more board game news, reviews, countdowns, commentary videos, and other fun stuff, be sure to subscribe. And until the next video, I've been Chaz Marler from Pair of Dice Paradise, who, along with the live streaming YouTube chat, have been serving up some table scraps. Thanks. I'll talk to you again soon. Today's topic, ow, that's not today's topic. I am full of answers. Well, I'm full of something. Let's find out if they're answers or not. I'm a big believer in free breadsticks. I think that's great, and they go really well with salads. And the salads, if free, also a plus.